people? It's your boy Luke Tate Wayne. The build with your boy EBTV Sports. Back to the radio calls. I always say, don't be a hater. If you feel like somebody should support, subscribe. We got a few things to talk about today, man. Just get your popcorn, your beer, your weed, whatever you need to relax and chill. You know how I say. We're going to talk some. And first we got, man, I got about 6 opponents that I want to name in this Deontay Wilder scenario as far as being his next fight. Deontay Wilder's talking about fighting in January or February. And from the looks to me, it don't look like he's looking for a bum or a soft touch. In my opinion, I don't get the fact that he is. So, just go ahead and touch into that for a minute. And it's not Tyson Fury, because I do feel like the Tyson Fury trilogy will happen. I just feel like Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury may take a tune-up in the process. Who should that tune-up be for Deontay Wilder? Okay, I'm going to start off with some, not a soft touch, but out of all the touches, the easier other touch. I don't think none of these guys are easy fights, period. But you guys get what I mean. And I'm going to start with Robert Helenius. Okay? This fight right here is very possible. The reason I said that because they're both with PBC, if I'm not mistaken, or Helenius does business with PBC. Deontay Wilder was going to fight. Well, we all know they pretty much had Deontay Wilder. If they both would have won all their fights, like let's say Robert Helenius would have lost to Kanaki, Deontay Wilder would have beat Fury. I feel like these two would have eventually met up, and that's Kanaki. So I feel like both of those opponents are possible opponents for Deontay Wilder, which is Robert Kanaki and Robert Helenius. So what's your thoughts on either or? I feel like Robert Helenius should be the fight to take if that was a mandated option or whatever. But talk to you, boy.
Yo, yeah, man. It started off, happy holidays, everybody. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. And, I was looking. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was looking at this article. It's from Sports Bible is what the website's called. And it reads, Deontay Wilder reveals 5-man shortlist for the next fight amid Tyson Fury trilogy dispute. And some names that, according to the article, some names that he stated were Dillian White, Andy Ruiz Jr.
Right.
And that's a good fight.
Good fight, but I think Andy Ruiz might be too much for him right now, though. Okay,
he can be Andy Ruiz right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know what? He can be Andy Ruiz. I'm not saying he can't be Andy Ruiz, but I gotta think about it though. Andy Ruiz, he's not a. But keep going, go. I got something to say about Andy Ruiz though.
Oh yeah. But I haven't beaten him. I haven't beaten Andy Ruiz. But the thing is, Love One already said it, man. This is why you gotta tune into, our channels, man, because we have some information early,
Exactly. That's an underrated comment right there.
Exactly. Matter of fact, off topic, but I'm trying to get back on soon. When Jarrell Miller signed with Top Rank, before they released it, I released it 2 weeks before. And Love One has done similar things like that. So, yeah, definitely gotta stay tuned. You can get some the scoop early. But in this article, it says he took Bronze Bombers team told Brian Custer that Robert Helenius and Joseph Parker were on the list also. So it's Dillian White, Andy Ruiz Jr., Robert Helenius, and Joseph Parker. If I'm Deontay Wilder, I pick Robert Helenius. That's kind of like, you don't want to pick a fight that you might be able to lose. You want to pick a good, solid opponent. So Robert Helenius is up there. But,
I like Robert Helenius, though.
Yeah.
What do you think about that fight? I mean, Robert Helenius got decent feet, taller than Fury. He can bring you that Tyson. He's a perfect tune-up, in my opinion, for Tyson Fury.
Yes, he is. Perfect tune-up, because Tyson Fury he's going to return in 2021. So yeah, he's definitely a perfect tune-up. But those are some of the
Right.
5 names on the list. I think he definitely will beat Dillian White. That's not even a question. He can.
Well, we know that, but there's a lot of people that would try to differentiate with us, though.
Yeah, after that fight with God, what's that man? Alexander Povetkin. I don't want to hear anything else about him fighting Deontay Wilder. You can.
No, I think it's still must see just how much of a grudge match it is. And who knows? I'm not gonna, even though Dillian White is, super overrated, he can land that left hook on Deontay Wilder and cause some damage. It is possible. So I'm not gonna count the great heavyweight Dillian White all the way out. But what I will say is, I definitely gotta go. I got him getting smashed to bits by Deontay Wilder. That's just my opinion.
Like I said, yeah, you raise a great point, but everybody has a puncher's chance, in my opinion. So yeah, he can land that left hook, but more likely than not, Deontay Wilder hits that one. He gets that one easily, or pretty comfortably. And you got the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight, and that would be a big fight. That would be a big fight. Everybody knows.
PBC.
Exactly. Everybody knows how boxing works. Whenever you bring a black and a Mexican in there, that always sells out. So that's a great fight. They should definitely look into that one.
Good point.
Yeah, exactly. Go through history, or not even a Mexican, Hispanic, any type of from islands, anything like that. Roberto Duran, Tommy Hagler, Marvin Sagler. You got Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. All got Mayweather Canelo, Mayweather Cotto. All whenever you have them two mixed up, put together, you always get a good fight. So that Andy Ruiz Jr. Deontay Wilder fight, and I said Tommy Hagler. No, it's Marvin Hagler, of course. Don't crucify my boxing knowledge in here. But yeah. Yeah.
No, you're good though. Your point is well taken. Whenever and it's no offense, it's just facts. Whenever Mexicans go against the blacks, it's gonna sell. Like if I'm not mistaken, that sells the most.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yes, you got the Puerto Rico versus Mexicans. Yes, you got the Irish people, the UK versus. It's different nationalities that plays that factor, but the point is well taken that the Andrew Reese, who has a big fan base now, Deontay Wilder, hate him or love him, but he has a big fan base now. And a lot of people tune in to Deontay Wilder when he fights. Let's not act like that's not true. This is not the Deontay Wilder who beats Bermane Stiverne. Deontay Wilder is a lot more popular right now. I mean, he got 3 million followers on Instagram. I mean, come on now.
Exactly. So yeah,
and
go ahead.
Great. A lot of people cannot combat with this. Deontay Wilder, people want to claim that he's irrelevant. Even Eddie Hearns try to claim that Deontay Wilder is irrelevant. Well, answer me this: why? And I proved this before. Why, when you put out a video about Deontay Wilder, it does your most views? A lot of these channels out here is getting their biggest revenue off Deontay Wilder videos. And they know that because if he was irrelevant, you would never talk about him. He's not champion no more. He's irrelevant, right? But even guys like Eddie Hearn, every time they get an interview, they talk about Deontay Wilder because he's giving people their most clicks. It's like whenever you see a Deontay Wilder hate video, you're gonna click on it.
It's true. And and I was also referring to Tommy Hitman Hearns. But like I said, we already proved that black and the Mexican, black and Hispanic, whenever you get those two matched, especially two solid fighters, you always get good returns in terms of sales and everything. So that's a big fight, and if that happens, man, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. I still have Deontay Wilder in it, and then later on in the article they have Alexander Usyk.
Usyk, I like that fight too.
I think he loses that one. I really think he loses that one.
I like Deontay Wilder deserve a tune-up before Usyk because I feel like Usyk could be. That's a bad style matchup for Wilder.
Yeah. Wilder would have to.
That's a terrible style matchup. I see where you're going with that one, though, EBT. I definitely see where you're going with that one.
Yeah,
you can see it just like I can see it. That's why I feel like Deontay Wilder, he would have to come off of some confidence to beat a Usyk. I don't think he's hop right back in there with no Usyk. I feel like, don't get it twisted, I do feel like Deontay Wilder, he got the power to hurt Usyk badly and stop Usyk. Let me say that now. And I'm gonna also say, but I feel like if Deontay Wilder beats Usyk, they'll just say, Usyk is not hasn't beat nobody at heavyweight anyway. I feel like that's a big risk. I can't say low reward because he'll get a lot of money to face Usyk. But I do see where you're going with it. I feel like Usyk can make Deontay Wilder miss a lot of right hands. I do see that.
Yeah,
because he'll get caught a lot by Cazorla now. And Deontay Wilder got speed and time.
Yeah.
He has pretty good with that right hand. But I always think about that first fight with Tyson Fury. You could make Deontay Wilder miss if you got the good reflexes and the foot speed to do it. You could make that boy miss a lot. He was striking out a whole lot against Tyson Fury. But like I always say, and this is me, even though I see where you're going with it, I got to defend Deontay Wilder on this. Deontay Wilder always finds some way to learn that bomb. Some way. So,
this is true. I mean, this is true. And, two things on this one, man. I always say it, but Deontay Wilder, he has to get in there and work on that fundamentals, man. If he's gonna try to get in there with Usyk, at least get something. You don't gotta be the moment Deontay Wilder becomes at least a C-level, even defender in boxing, a C-level, hands up. He gets on his defense on boxing. He'll be. I don't think there's anybody can beat him. But Deontay Wilder, when he gets head movement and everything, because he's basically unstoppable then. But if he can get a good trainer in there to tell him, honest opinion and really work on what he needs to work on, then I like that. Then that Usyk fight is a lot more closer than now. But another thing is, this is a quote from Deontay Wilder. I would love to fight him because when he says him, he means Usyk. Because I would love to fight him because he called me out. There's a lot of guys on the list. When that phone rings, just accept the opportunity. That's from Deontay Wilder. So, it's definitely possible. All five of these. This is a short list, meaning that hey, there were a lot of people on this list that he could have fought, but he narrowed it down to 5 people. So you already have a pretty good chance of one of those fights happening. So man, this is something we definitely have to look at. We definitely have to look at that.
Yeah, but I do feel like the most scariest opponent out of all the people you named is gonna probably be Usyk, man. And I feel like he needs to go towards Andy Ruiz because one thing about Andy Ruiz can be hit. We need Deontay Wilder. See, Deontay Wilder needs to face that guy because even in the second fight, Tyson Fury got hit with a couple right hands, but Deontay Wilder couldn't find that clean right hand. Deontay Wilder, he don't only needs to land the right hand; it has to be clean. That's when it's like, oh, the bomb is there. Like, if Deontay Wilder faces Andy Ruiz, yes, I do see Andy Ruiz giving that boy major problems. Don't get it twisted. Andy Ruiz standing on Deontay Wilder's chest and well on his ass, right? But I do feel like Andy Ruiz should be hit. If Deontay Wilder lands that bomb, I feel like if AJ, and I feel like, ET, can we just admit Deontay Wilder clearly hits harder than AJ?
Yes, you want to say that.
Yeah, so AJ dropped him.
Yeah.
When he tried to, because I feel like in the second fight, AJ was just trying to run and get a decision. I feel like he tried to knock Andy Ruiz out.
Of course not.
But Deontay Wilder can hurt. I can see Wilder hurting Andy Ruiz too. But we haven't talked about the Joseph Parker fight. I don't think that's an easy fight for Deontay Wilder either. I just feel like Joseph Parker is a little bit too nice and respectable. I feel like if Joseph Parker lose that and becomes a little more aggressive and mean like Deontay Wilder, Deontay Wilder, he's mean. If Joseph Parker could pull that off, I feel like Joseph Parker gives Deontay Wilder a lot of coming there respecting Wilder. That's my problem with Joseph Parker.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a fight I gotta look more into because there's a lot to break down in that fight.
Yeah, it is though because Joseph Parker got it too, but he showed he could be hurt by guys like Dillian White. So
yeah.
it's definitely a fight. But Joseph Parker can do a lot of things Usyk can do too as well. So the same thing that you thinking about that Usyk can do, Joseph Parker can do a lot of things. He has the foot speed, he has the hand speed. You could argue, it is an argument, but you could argue he has more foot speed and hand speed than Usyk. So
Sorry,
don't sleep
man.
on that fight right there. But the only thing I like about Usyk, he's not gonna come in there and Wilder. He's like, I don't give a listen. Usyk is a little cocky too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
man,
You know, it's also an article. This has to do with the topic of a 3-man shortlist for Tyson Fury after because the trilogy has been kind of called off or rescheduled and it's in the works now. But there's a 3-man shortlist for Tyson Fury.
what said you gotta say though? But I'm gonna say that the trilogy it's not just called off yet. It's in the air.
Yeah, it's in the air. It's uncertain. Yes, it's uncertain. But yeah, that's actually a good point. It's not over. It's just everything gotta get worked out. But it's 3 fighters in the short list for Tyson Fury: Oscar Rivas, F.A. Jaba, and I've heard of him before. I've heard of him, and I don't know who this guy is. This last guy, his last name is Kabayel.
Yeah, you're talking about Carbiel. Carbiel's a decent fighter, undefeated. Okay. His biggest win is over Kazora. But Carbiel ready for no down Tyson Fury, especially a Tyson Fury that's focused. And but don't sleep on. I think the fight, if it has to be a fight out of those 3, do not sleep on the what's the cat name? You just said it too.
Yeah, F.A. Jaba. Yeah.
Jaba is a factor.
Yeah.
Jaba. The reason I say that because he's not as fast as Wilder. But you can argue that man is harder than Wilder. I'm gonna definitely say because he got that right and bomb just like Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Trust me. You better go watch a few of his fights.
Yeah.
Because even like I tell people, even if you knock out a bum, that's still power 9. Every fighter is just knocking out a bum, and these fighters has knocked out undefeated bums, if you want to call it that. So I mean, you just can't say a fighter don't got no power just because you're knocking out bums. You can't just that phrase anybody can knock out a bum is not true.
No, it's not true at all, man. Because chin is chin, no matter what skill level. So that's. I think Deontay Wilder's in a good place in terms of who can fight. He can win all those fights. It's definitely a good possibility. But that Tyson Fury fight is not called off. It's definitely in the works. So hopefully we can get a fight for that one. Anything you also want to add on it?
No, I'm pretty much done with the Deontay Wilder section because we can go unlimited on your shit, but I'm on a time frame on mine, so I just cut it off at 15 minutes. But we both made some solid points on Deontay Wilder next fight. I feel like we can talk about the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. We could get into that for about 6-7 minutes on my half.
Okay, yeah. So that Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder trilogy. As of right now, I have Tyson Fury winning it again. Because it doesn't look like Deontay. I don't know this. But from how I see it, it doesn't look like he's changed much in terms of his skill set. I mean, it doesn't look like he's a totally different fighter. He has to go through a major change.
But see, I gotta object because how would you know that if you haven't seen no fight since the Tyson?
Well, I mean, we haven't heard of any major. He did drop his trainer, but we have not heard of any major skill changes from his camp. Like we haven't heard pretty much anything. So I'm. We
haven't heard about any transitions in his camp, right?
You said what now? Well, he did drop it. Like I said, he dropped his other trainer, but we haven't heard much in terms of his skill set changing. We haven't heard much in terms of like his new trainer and what he's doing in there, how he's changing skill set. We haven't heard much about that. We haven't, if anything, it's happened. So
let me tell you, I feel like a lot of people is just emotionally attached to Mark Breland, man. I don't think Mark Breland was a bad trainer at all in general, but I don't feel like Mark Breland is trainer Deontay Wilder needs. Can we just get into that for a minute? What do you feel of Mark Breland and Deontay Wilder's relationship? Was he a good trainer towards Deontay Wilder? or was he just? In my opinion, Mark Breland was a yes man. Mark Breland was. I feel like he looked like he was down there scared of Wilder himself. Deontay Wilder needs a trainer that's not afraid of him. I heard. Listen. For all the people, I gotta say this real quick. I gotta go in real quick because when I say people is emotionally attached to Mark Breland, he's a likable guy. He's nice. He did teach Deontay Wilder how to throw a right hand. Yes, Mark Breland does have a lot to do with that. But showing a man how to throw a crazy right hand make you a great trainer. All right? I'm gonna get deep on Mark Breland right now because I feel like I have to. And a lot of people want to say, "Oh, but Deontay Wilder, he's dumb for firing Mark Breland." Listen, you guys don't know how long Deontay Wilder have considered firing Mark Breland. Maybe it was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe that was just the last straw. Like it's just. Let me give you an example. You got this guy and he's going out with a chick, right? He dumps the chick and he leaves her alone because she did something wrong to him or whatever. A lot of people will say, "Oh, he's dumb. She was so hot. She was good to him. That was his down ass chick or whatever." How the hell do you know that? You don't know what goes on behind closed doors with him and that. What she did to him in the past. You don't know what really went on with Mark Breland and Deontay Wilder behind closed doors. But a lot of people will make that assumption based off no facts. And I'm here to say this. Mark Breland I don't feel like he's the right trainer for Deontay. I always felt that way. I felt like, yes, you did good. I seen the father and son relationship, but I can see why Deontay Wilder felt like Mark Breland should never throw in the towel as well. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna get in that too much. I just feel like I do not feel like Mark Breland was the best trainer for Deontay Wilder. And I'm not mad at him for firing Mark Breland. What I am mad at him for a little bit is all the the spike in the water and the drug. Deontay Wilder, Mark Breland won't do you like that. I don't feel that way. But what I do feel like is Deontay Wilder is just speaking out of emotions aside, and he's just saying what it is.
Yeah, man, I don't really know what to think about that. In terms of Mark Breland, I've heard things that stuff like people have actually said the opposite. Well, some people have actually said the opposite that you're saying. In terms of only thing they're saying is, I heard a guy on YouTube. He said that Mark Breland didn't tell Deontay Wilder what he wanted to hear, and that's why he fired him. I don't know how true that is, but I did hear that that he told Mark Breland told Deontay Wilder what he didn't want to hear.
Okay,
what do you think about that?
But we know that. That's why in his act showed that, which is he throwing the towel. But I want to get more deeper into that, EBT. Do you really listen to Mark Breland? We all know Deontay Wilder had a disagreement with him throwing in the towel because whoever said that, whoever you heard on YouTube say that, they alluded to the fact that they're basically saying Mark Breland is not being a yes man because Deontay Wilder didn't want him to throw in the towel. He did throw in the towel, but that's just. Okay, let's just say you do have a point. I disagree with that too because Deontay Wilder is like, man, one punch can literally save the show. Deontay Wilder it's impossible for Deontay Wilder to land a bomb and put Tyson Fury on his ass.
No.
That's not shocking.
The only thing is though, he was defenseless. I mean, he was getting.
Well done, okay? And this is why I see it both ways. I can see it from an emotional standpoint, especially when you're looking at a guy like your son. I can see why he throwing the towel. But I can see Deontay Wilder's point too. Like, come on, man. It's like Tyson Fury could have gotten tired. Tyson Fury, you're not gonna sit here and tell me it was impossible for Deontay Wilder to land a right hand bomb and put fucking Tyson Fury out of there, or at least get a knockdown or something, or to turn the fight around. You ain't gonna sit here and tell me that, EBT. So I do see what Deontay
I don't know though.
But
I don't know about that.
That's something you want to rebut off that. But let me say one more thing, and I want to get even deeper. Let's just put that aside from a second, because a lot of people, I don't feel like that was the only thing that, like, that what's his name did. Mark Breland did, and Deontay Wilder was like, you know what, it's over. Really watch it, and people if anybody wanted to combat the fact that Deontay Wilder and Mark Breland wasn't a yes for Deontay Wilder, do you ever listen to Mark Breland in the corner? I do. I pay close attention to things like this because I'm very attentive. Mark Breland is never telling Deontay Wilder, like, listen, you're doing this wrong. You know, it's like I don't ever hear that because when I see Deontay Wilder fight, even when he was fighting Ortiz, there was a lot of things that Deontay Wilder was doing wrong before he landed the bomb, of course. But I don't hear Mark Breland telling him, you know, Deontay Wilder, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. If you think I'm bullshitting, go. I don't think you really listen, EBT. But go ahead, I know you got something to say back.
Oh no, yeah. Listen, I don't really. I have to pay attention to the I will like to go back and hear what Mark Breland said. You know, on his you know, in the corner. You were mentioning, you know, you listen to him in the corner.
Right.
You know, I don't know what to think about the situation, but I always want to hear your take on, you know, the person who said that. You know, I would have thrown in the towel too because you got to look at Deontay Wilder was defenseless. He was gonna go down, and I mean he had spaghetti arms. He couldn't even throw a combination. He was bleeding. I mean, he didn't. You don't want to take unnecessary punishment again. Yeah, he can land it later in the round. I mean, that's if he was going down. He was probably gonna go down, you know, and then he's gonna get back up. And you don't ever quickly recover that fast. If you go down, I mean, we got to look at the knockout again. He was going down.
No, but the thing is, man. First of all, if you really pay close attention to that round, and I'm not trying to debate the fact that I feel how y'all feel. It's like Deontay Wilder, he was getting punished. He was bleeding. He did look sluggish a little bit, but Deontay Wilder was throwing punches back. It's not like he was just a lot of unanswered punches. Like that's when you really want to throw in the towel. Where it's like Deontay Wilder not even defending himself. He was defending himself. And Deontay Wilder also made a good point when he said, Deontay Wilder did make a very good point when he said, you know what, it wasn't even no warning of throwing in the towel. Like you could have told me, you know, I'm gonna throw a towel, baby. You know, pick it up, Deontay Wilder. You gotta show me something. It wasn't none of that, you know, and that's part of what you mean by being a yes man. Maybe you could have told Deontay Wilder, look, it's looking bad for you. You know what's going on, Deontay Wilder? You're not looking at yourself. If you don't shoot me nothing, I'm gonna throw in the towel. I agree with Deontay Wilder about that.
You know, like I said, man, this is very. Cause I don't the way I remember. I'm gonna look over it again, but it didn't seem like Deontay Wilder was defending himself either. He looked like he was.
So you trying to
okay,
say
now I'm looking at it now. He was sitting there getting. He was in the corner. He put his hands up for the first time in like end of the fight. You know, you never really see him put his hands up, and I'm looking at it now.
I'm gonna play the highlights while we talking, ET. So you sure he ain't throwing no punches? Because he throws some punches, man. Deontay Wilder, that's called unanswered punches. Now,
yeah, unanswered. I'm looking at it. He threw one punch, and he just threw it out there. He tried to give an effort back, but
that's still an answer. What do you mean?
Yeah, but it was. I mean,
he's no punch.
But he's getting battered. He's bleeding. He can't.
Ain't nobody see you deflected from my point. Ain't nobody saying Deontay Wilder getting beaten. Nobody was saying Deontay Wilder was up on the scorecard. Nobody was saying Deontay Wilder looked like he was on his way out. Nobody is saying that, EBT. My point is he would. Unanswered punches.
Well, that's the thing, though. You know, okay, they're not unanswered. Okay, but
that's because my thing is.
But if you can't prove that you can, but he's not defending himself though. He's getting just destroyed, and then he throws a punch out there. It's not a normal Deontay. It would have been different.
Listen, you said what you just said in a different way. You said he got battered, and then you said he got destroyed. Listen here, EBT. Let me make this clear. I know Deontay Wilder was getting destroyed. I know he was getting welled on those ropes. My point is, it wasn't unanswered punches. It's not like Deontay Wilder wasn't defending himself at all because he was clearly throwing back.
He threw one punch back, and it wasn't a normal Deontay. It would have been different if he showed that he was alert. Meaning, if he threw it's all situational. So it'd been different if he threw like a right hook, a strong right hook, and showed that he was still in the fight. He just threw his arm out there. He's clearly getting. I mean, he just threw his arm out there. So in that situation, I think the throwing in the towel is warranted. Like he's literally. I'm looking at it now. He's getting battered, and he just throws a punch out there. Maybe you could have let him go on for maybe 10 more seconds, 15 to see, but you can't get mad at. You can't. You can see why he threw the towel in. He's not defending himself.
We got that part clear that we could see why he threw the towel in. Like I know I can definitely see why he threw the towel in. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not even mad he threw the towel in, but I'm not gonna act like Deontay Wilder. Like I don't feel what he's saying too. Like one punch cannot change the fight for Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, but I mean, you can tell he's not there. Like he's not there. I mean, you can just tell that he's like when they stopped the fight, he was just hanging around, and I could tell that he's not in the fight anymore.
I see your point.
He's not throwing strong combinations, strong Deontay Wilder like combinations. He's not even doing that anymore. He's getting battered on the ropes, and then when he stopped the fight, he was just hanging on there. It's like he wasn't even, it's like he wasn't even there in his right mind again. So I would have gotten him out of there. And I mean, I think Deontay Wilder should have respected the decision.
When you have one Deontay Wilder, you're gonna stop the fight before you stopped it?
Yeah. Would that have changed anything?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Huh?
Deontay Wilder claimed he never did that, and I feel that, like, but I don't want to stay too long with this though, but I understand why he stopped the fight. I'm not gonna be naive to that, but he sure isn't looking good, and he's getting well done though. But I mean, Lord Jesus, I mean, I do feel the brother Deontay Wilder was, give it that hard warning. It's like, I'm gonna stop the fight. And hold up, in the 7th round, hold on, ET, you gotta watch the 7th round. Deontay Wilder is like trying to throw a bomb. He's trying to get that bomb in.
I'm talking about the last seconds of the fight, though. I mean,
but still, even though the last seconds of the fight, which still got the fact that it wasn't unanswered because you say he threw a punch. The fact is, it's not like he's not trying to land that bomb, though. That's my point. He's clear, and you can't say Deontay Wilder cannot land a bomb. It's not shocking if Deontay Wilder to land the bomb and drop Tyson Fury.
I'm saying to the last seconds of the fight, does he look like he's still in it?
I just said fuck it and watch the full 7 round. But you could stop it. I ain't even recording no more.
Well, yeah, I'm watching the full 7 round, but I just don't see it.
It's an entertaining topic though. Really?
Yeah.